The White House, a symbol of American strength and diplomacy, became a stage for discord on February 28, 2025. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, a wartime leader seeking continued support against Russian aggression, found himself at odds with his American counterpart, President Donald Trump. The meeting, intended to solidify the US-Ukraine partnership, instead exposed deep fissures and raised questions about the future of Western support for Ukraine. The meeting's primary agenda was the finalization of a deal granting the United States access to Ukraine's vast mineral resources in exchange for sustained military and financial aid. This quid pro quo arrangement, championed by the Trump administration, was met with resistance from Zelenskyy, who sought ironclad security guarantees from the US in any future peace negotiations with Russia. What began as tense negotiations quickly escalated into a full-blown diplomatic crisis. Trump, known for his unpredictable temperament and transactional approach to foreign policy, accused Zelenskyy of ingratitude and disrespect, demanding an apology for perceived slights. Zelenskyy, however, stood firm, expressing his appreciation for American assistance while refusing to compromise on his country's security concerns. The meeting concluded abruptly without a resolution and with the cancellation of a planned joint press conference. The images that emerged from the White House that day, grim faces, tense body language, and a palpable sense of disappointment, spoke volumes about the fractured state of US-Ukraine relations. The clash between Trump and Zelenskyy brought into sharp focus the diverging priorities and perspectives shaping the US-Ukraine relationship. For President Trump, the emphasis was on securing a tangible return on American investment in Ukraine's defense. The proposed mineral deal, in his view, represented a fair exchange, allowing the US to access valuable resources while ensuring Ukraine's continued ability to resist Russian aggression. Zelenskyy, however, arrived in Washington with a different set of priorities. While grateful for American support, he remained acutely aware of the precarious security situation facing his country. He sought concrete assurances from the US, not just in the form of weapons and funding, but also in the form of binding security guarantees that would deter future Russian aggression. Adding fuel to the fire was the presence of Vice President Vance, a vocal critic of continued US aid to Ukraine. Vance, echoing the sentiments of an increasingly isolationist faction within the Republican Party, questioned the strategic value of supporting Ukraine and highlighted the alleged strain that the conflict was placing on American resources. The meeting became a microcosm of the larger debate surrounding US foreign policy. On one side stood those who advocated for a transactional approach, prioritizing American interests and seeking tangible returns on investment. On the other side stood those who believed in the importance of upholding democratic values, supporting allies, and maintaining a strong stance against authoritarian aggression. The abrupt end to the meeting, marked by the cancellation of the joint press conference, sent shockwaves through the international community. The carefully crafted image of Western unity in the face of Russian aggression was replaced with a stark depiction of division and discord. The cancellation of the press conference, a highly unusual move in the context of diplomatic visits, spoke volumes about the severity of the rift between the two leaders. It suggested a breakdown in communication, a failure to find common ground, and a deep sense of frustration on both sides. The immediate aftermath of the meeting was characterized by uncertainty and speculation. World leaders, diplomats, and analysts struggled to interpret the implications of the clash for the future of US-Ukraine relations and the broader effort to support Ukraine against Russian aggression. The lack of a clear outcome from the meeting only served to deepen the sense of anxiety among Ukraine's supporters in Europe and elsewhere. The cancellation of the press conference, with its potential for clarifying statements and damage control, left a void that was quickly filled with rumors, interpretations, and worst-case scenarios. The White House clash also exposed deep divisions within the Republican Party, once a staunch supporter of American global leadership. The isolationist wing of the party, emboldened by Trump's return to the White House, saw the meeting as an opportunity to advance their agenda of reducing American commitments abroad. Senator Josh Hawley, a prominent voice in the isolationist camp, wasted no time in seizing on the incident to criticize US involvement in Ukraine. "It's time for Europe to step up and shoulder its fair share of the burden," he declared, echoing a sentiment that found resonance among those who believed that the US had already done enough to support Ukraine. Senator Lindsey Graham, however, representing a dwindling faction of Republicans who still supported a robust American role on the world stage, expressed his dismay at the meeting's outcome. "This sends absolutely the wrong signal to Putin and our allies," he lamented, warning that Trump's approach risked emboldening Russia and undermining American credibility. The Republican divide over Ukraine reflected a broader debate about the nature and purpose of American power in the 21st century. The clash between interventionists and isolationists, once confined to the halls of Congress and the pages of policy journals, had now spilled over into the realm of presidential politics, with potentially far-reaching consequences for US foreign policy.